Fade these NFL players on Sunday in week 4. That means you're taking some unders. That's what this video is all about. I got 3 unders that I love for the NFL slate on Sunday. If you don't know, well, now you know. 7-2 on unders so far this season. They've been printing. A lot of unders are cashing, and I got another 3, and hopefully we can go from 7-2 to 10-2. But as always, my name's Austin from Calling a Shot. Thank you for tuning in. This is my final video for Sunday's week's 4 slate. If you missed the other videos, there's one that we talked about every single spread, total, over, under, game, everything like that. You can go check out that. There's another one posted on Saturday at noon. That is me going through some favorite props, plus some top parlays and things like that. We have an anytime touchdown scorer in there. We have a player prop where we're taking a guy up to 100+ rushing yards. I encourage you to go tap into that video. I'll link both of those down below in the pinned comment if you're interested. But let's dive in. We got nothing more to waste. I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's lock in these picks. I do want to note Parlay play. We love them here. They have a free square right now for CJ Stroud to get 1 yard. CJ Stroud's not have the best start to the year, but I'd be willing to bet he gets 1 yard. Of course, you can sign up and get that free square using our code COS, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. I'll show how I am using the CJ Stroud free square later on in this video to try to make some money on Parlay play and hopefully take all of their money. That's the goal. Let's dive in the picks, though, today. The first one, I will talk about the guy on the thumbnail. And as a Jets fan, it's okay to take this one because it's not necessarily disrespecting him. Aaron Rodgers of the New York Jets, under 36.5 yards for his longest completion. So as I've talked about with long completion props, I want to say we are 3-0 on these so far this season. Knock on wood. I'm checking my spreadsheet. We are currently, yeah, that'd be right, 3-0, and they've all been unders. Now, obviously, Rodgers can go out there and he can throw a gem. He can have 900 passing yards. We just need his longest completion to be under 36.5 yards. I don't mind it at 35.5. However, Rodgers has landed on 36 on the dot once. That was in week 1. Well, let's talk about Rodgers, though, this season. He is under this line in all 3 games. He has ended with 36 in week 1, 26, and then 27 in the last 2 weeks. His 36-yarder did come off that hike. Move 1, 2, 4, 42. And he got the defense to jump off sides and he launched one down to Allen Lazard. And that's how he got his 36-yard completion. Obviously, could happen any game. We know Rodgers is the best in the league at doing that. However, the Broncos defense, who Rodgers will face on Sunday, has been a pretty good team. And let's talk about them. Denver this season is allowing the 3rd lowest passing yards per attempt at 5.1 yards. Their secondary has been elite. The longest pass actually completed against them by a QB is 30 yards. And that was their running back, I believe, Zach Charbonnet. The longest to a wide receiver has been 19 yards, Tyler Lockett. Now, if you don't know, this Broncos defense is obviously headed by Pat Surtain II, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he's going to probably shadow Garrett Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. And so we think of outside of Garrett Wilson, are there any other pass catchers that I'm really threatened to go 40+ yards down the field and Rodgers should actually throw it to him? Obviously, Lazard could be one of them. But outside of that, like, I'm not really too concerned about Mike Williams. I don't really, sure, he's a deep play threat, but if he mosses someone, whatever, you live with it. But Rodgers just hasn't been throwing the ball down the field all too often. Rodgers, in fact, this season is 28th in air yards per pass attempt. So, as I said, the balls just aren't going far down the field. He had a really good game against the Patriots, on Thursday Night Football last week. But outside of that, it's really not been a lot of deep passes going down the field. Also, if you look at this game, the Jets are 7.5-point favorites. The Broncos are coming off a big victory against the Bucs. Could be a flat spot for them. This could be a game where we see the Jets be a little bit more run heavy. We could see Bo Nix maybe turn it over or take some sacks and stuff. And maybe that gets the Jets on short fields where maybe they're not seeking those long balls. Maybe they're looking for, hey, let's just turn out a first down or two, get in the field goal range, and then we'll worry about maybe if we want to go for it on 3rd or 4th down or whatever. I just think this is not a game where Rodgers attempts a ton of deep passes. We might have to survive 1 or 2. Hopefully it's not one of those, he throws it 10 yards and the guy just happens to break 3 tackles and goes for 37 yards. I like this one though. Look, we've been really good on these under and longest pass completions. I'll take it for Aaron Rodgers under 36.5 yards for his longest completion. Like I said, I don't actually really know where you'd go with his pass yards, but I do like this one. I just don't think he's throwing the ball deep down the field. Obviously, Garrett Wilson, his best weapon, will be shadowed probably by Pat Surtain. So I like fading Aaron Rodgers in that capacity. I have no opinion on his pass yards or his completions or pass attempts, things like that. My second one is going to be one that I imagine not a lot of people will like. This could be a sharp read. Let's talk about him. Carson Steel, the Kansas City Chiefs running back, under 44.5 rushing yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. Now, I would play this to 40.5. I think a lot of people are jumping out there and saying, Carson Steel at 44.5 rush yards? What the heck? Dude, he just had 72 last week. Let's hop right in. He's replacing Isaiah Pacheco. He's the GOAT. I say not so fast. If you look at Carson Steel, he was not really came into this year as supposed to be an RB1 or the direct backup to to Isaiah Pacheco. And we'll talk about why. Now, why am I fading them, though? Like last week, he had 17 carries, 72 rush yards. He looks decent. Well, enter Kareem Hunt in a terrible matchup. Last week, Kareem Hunt obviously signed with the Chiefs. They had him as a healthy and active last week, kind of getting back up to speed with the playbook. Now he's going to be active here, and it would not shock me if he takes some carries. Additionally, last week, Steel handled 17 of their 23 running back carries. Samaje Perine had the other 6, and he's going to be the guy that's going to be in there on those third down plays. Also, Andy Reid, in the press conferences this week, he talked about how Steel needs to improve his pass protection. Well, look, I don't know how to tell you this, but if you aren't a great pass protector, newsflash, you're probably not going to be on the field a ton with Patrick Mahomes and the team that loves passing the football. Now you get Kareem Hunt back, Andy Reid. I'll put up a tweet that said, hey, he's in pretty good shape. The next step is getting him into the game. He'll rotate in. We'll see how it does. Well, let's say Kareem Hunt comes in here and he starts rattling off 5-6 yards per carry. Why are we going back to Carson Steel, a guy that in the 40-yard dash ran a 4.75? He's a big bruiser type of guy. I just don't think there's a ton of upside here for Carson Steel. And also, you have Isaiah Pacheco down. You don't need to run another running back into the ground. So I think we see more of a running back by committee even more than we saw last week with just Samaje and Carson Steel. I think you see Steel, he'll get his carries, maybe 8 to 10. You see Kareem Hunt, maybe get 8 to 10. And you see Samaje Perine get those carries because they need to kind of piece together this position. You're not going to have one guy automatically replace Isaiah Pacheco. But like I said, after that last week, we even saw Steel said himself, he was a little bit bruised up after getting those 17 carries. And like I said, he's just not a fast guy. And also, I didn't even mention the matchup's not good this season. The Chargers have allowed the 8th lowest explosive run rate, the 6th fewest rushing yards, and the 2nd lowest rushing success rate. Only one running back this season has actually averaged more than 4 yards per carry versus the Chargers, and that was Chuba Hubbard. Last week, they faced Najee Harris. Obviously, he went over this line, but he had a lot more volume than I expect Carson Steel to get, and Carson Steel's averaging less than 4 yards per carry. Is it disrespectful fading him after having a good start? Yes, but I just don't think this is a spot where you see Carson Steel once again get 17 carries. His rush attempts line is back down to 11.5. Wouldn't shock me if it goes under that. I just think this is a week where you can easily fade him, and I think he might end in the 20s. Wouldn't shock me at all. I'm fading Carson Steel, the Chiefs running back, under 44.5 rush yards. My third and final play will only be a half unit play, and I'll talk about why. It is Kyler Murray under 0.5 interceptions, minus 120 on Bet365. I'm sticking to just the half unit here because, well, one, I don't want to lose an interception in a full unit if it's maybe not Kyler Murray's fault and he throws it, goes off someone's head, and someone else catches it. That would piss me off to lose a unit like that. But I do like this one, and it's a system play that we're going to run. Last week, we took this identical play, half unit, on Joe Burrow to not throw a pick against the Commanders, and it cashed. We love to see that. I'm only doing a half unit here once again for Kyler. Now, this year, he's thrown an interception only 1 of 3 games, so technically the under is cashed. But why is this a system play? Well, since the start of last year, QBs are under 0.5 interceptions in 14 of 20 games against the Commanders. I mean, we've talked about the Commander secondary. They're pretty bad. They're also not good against the run. Hint, hint. Go check out the other props video. I have some overs. Might be a Cardinals running back. Hint, hint. But I just don't. I mean, sure, if they pick one off, cool. But I don't think Kyler Murray's throwing it a ton. I think they lean on the ground a little bit more here. And I'll take the under in interceptions. If it cashes here, I'll probably be on it next week, depending on who it is. If it's like Bo Nix, I'm out. But depending on who it is, I'll probably be on the under in interceptions once again against the Commanders because it's just not a secondary that I'm really too afraid of. I think Kyler Murray can avoid throwing those interceptable passes where we're needing them to drop it. And unless if it's like a Hail Mary type garbage interception, I like our chances here of the Cardinals leading, not having to do something like that. So I'll take Mr. Kyler Murray under in interceptions. And finally, we wrap up with the parlay play entry. Throw it up on the screen. A reminder, if you sign up using our code COS, you'll get a match on your first deposit up to $100, and you'll get the CJ Stroud free square, which is the third pick in this thing. You have Aaron Rodgers less than 36.5. You have Kyler Murray less than an interception. And Carson Steel, cool thing about parlay play is that you can buy a couple yards each way. So I bought a couple extra yards, 10 more to be exact, lower for 55.5 rush yards. It's a little bit of an outline. If he goes over 44.5, I don't think he's going over 56. So I like that. They only put $10 on that free square, but hey, it's free money, baby. Let's count that money and let's cash out that parlay play entry. Reminder, use code COS. You'll get that free square and a match on your first deposit up to $100. That's going to do it for me for Sunday, week 4. I'll have 2 separate videos for Monday Night Football. Those will be posted Sunday, probably Monday morning. Also, day 6 of the ladder challenge should be posted soon. Once it is live, I'll link it somewhere on the screen. Also, if you want to go check out our overs, if you don't like unders, I mean, you made it this far, well, hey, shout out you. Overs video somewhere over here. Also, our video where we talk about all the spreads and totals and things like that. You can find that there as well. Have a great Sunday. Good luck on all your wagers. Let's have a week. I'll see you guys in the other videos. Peace.